Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to Kill Talk Radio, another source for sex and sexuality. Hosted by Livid the Dreamcatcher, formerly known as Humphrey Bonehard, and special guests. Live from a living area in small big town Connecticut. Don't just do it, kill it. Kill Talk Radio.
Good day, people. Welcome back to another episode of Kill Talk Radio, Sex, Love, and Hip Hop, the conversation. I am Livid the Dreamcatcher, and I got my normal right-hand man and my right-hand woman with me and some special guests in the building today who look very nervous, upset, or a mixture of a combination of the both.
And beautiful, right?
And beautiful at the same time,
okay.
Absolutely.
Don't forget that part.
They're both popping. One's purple, one's red. I like that. That's a good thing. I'll take it on a Saturday afternoon. To my right, Miss Jamie Sage.
Good day.
To my left, the Deuce.
Good Saturday afternoon to you, sir.
And our special guests, Miss Brittany and Miss Tia.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for taking.
Truly appreciate it.
Welcome to the hot seats. That's what we're gonna coin. We're gonna coin that corner over there.
The hot corner. The hot corner.
That's what that's gonna be. And it's gonna get even hotter today. The conversation is double standards. I've been preparing mentally for this for the last 3 weeks.
I got one right this second.
Oh, would you like to start it off?
Absolutely.
We're gonna jump straight in the pool.
Yes.
No floaties or nothing?
No floaties.
Oh.
But did you have something you wanted to say before I shoot my
Not
fire?
at all. I'm ready. I know the people are ready. We've been live for about 10 minutes, so I know there's some anxious individuals. Let's get straight to it. We're going to play no games. Let's go.
I think one double standard that popped in my head, when you enter a woman's home or a woman's space, and this is our space right now, she typically offers you a drink. We got two people sitting in the hot corner. They don't have no wine, no liquor, nothing. What happened? What happened, Livy?
Wait a minute.
I'm setting the standard.
What?
So he offered us waters.
He did offer y'all water?
Like
okay.
Anything.
Thank you.
Now I got it on your side. Now take over.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Listen. Would anybody in the hot corner like something hot? I'm willing to give you my last to accommodate your spirit on the inside. That's how you feel, the Deuce?
Well, I would have
what
shots
does that have
right
to do
now.
with double standards? Now you got to explain that one. What's that have to do with double standards?
What does that have to do with double standards? Because the double standard would be that a woman is supposed to be accommodating or be a host when she enters a space, and men don't typically feel the same
about being host.
Not in the same way. Like,
I think I'm a pretty fucking good host.
I think you're a pretty good host. That's why I'm picking at you. If it was real, I would really come for you. But nah, I was just picking at you this time.
But I see what you're saying, though.
About what?
I've been to guys' house and they haven't even offered me water. I have to ask.
Do they point you to the refrigerator if you ask?
No, not that much. Because I would be like, oh, you're out of your mind. Don't give me something to drink. But I just don't think you guys think about it. It's not the first thing that comes to your mind. It's more of something like maybe a caretaker trait, more found in women than men.
Okay, but all right. But our double standard. Okay, well, first let's start off. So there's no confusion.
Yes, sir.
So it's not all just opinion based, right? So there's a definition that exists for double standards. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know where these things come from. But the definition of a double standard, from what I found, says a rule or a principle which is unfairly applied in different ways to different people or groups. Okay? So is it something that we expect? So when you talk about double standards, like if y'all talking about the host thing, right? Is it that men or in general people expect females to host and not men to host? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I definitely want to.
And
It's the way that society looks at it. Like, society will say, you know, women are supposed to do this, or they're viewed this way, and then men are supposed to do this and be viewed this way. It's literally it's projected onto us.
Yeah, when I step into a woman's house, especially first, second, and 12th time, I expect it. Even if I don't want anything, I'm expecting at least to ask. Do you want any water? You can sit down. You comfortable? Do you need anything? Hungry? All those type of things.
What you're there for.
All right, but so is that
yes?
That's right.
Let's get technical.
Then there's a different set of hosting questions.
Like, did you bring your pillow?
Yeah, you can put your shoes over here.
Take them off.
Why did you bring an overnight bag? That's not what's supposed to be happening right there.
That's when you don't get offered a drink. They're giving you a hint.
That part. All right, so for me, okay. So a double standard for me. All right, I got a list of things.
Go for it.
I'm gonna get emotional today, just so y'all know.
Go Carl Thomas.
Ooh.
Did we just talk about that?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did just talk about emotional.
So for me, there's 3 types of double standards for me. There's a love double standard.
Yes, sir.
Then there's a gender double standard. Mm-hmm. And then there's a sex-related double standard.
That can also
I agree.
be considered moral double standards.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have morals. So I don't think about morals.
But
I don't
when
even.
you're listing those
He has
topics,
morals.
you're listing
I do have
fits in
morals.
the definition of moral double standard.
Which
Yeah.
one? The
love.
the definition?
And the other 2 that you listed.
Well, I mean,
No, I think moral double standards could have its own category. Because your morals, like, basically is what...
yeah, that's personal. That's
Yeah.
not something that the world expects of
But
you,
it's
or
your
it's
point
not.
of view.
Yeah, so that wouldn't.
So if your point
Okay.
of view is double standard, then yeah.
Then you got more. Okay, all right. Noted.
Stand corrected.
Noted. So, so for me, growing up, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm a rebel. If y'all don't know by now,
With or without a cause?
sometimes it
Depends on the day of the week.
depends on what color is in my cup.
Go for it.
You know what I'm saying? So, I for some reason I've always gravitated towards doing opposite of what people think you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Right? So in my experiences in life, with me taking that approach, I've had this double standard conversation many times. So, do y'all mind if we go in order? And we get everyone's point of view in those orders, and so it's not just like we just arguing about double standards. We can argue, but let's just argue in order. All right,
Let's do
point
it.
by point. All right. So, one of my questions we're gonna start with love, because I love love, and it's kill love everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm the dopest nigga at loving on earth.
Okay, you need to clarify.
I'm the dopest nigga at loving.
What?
It's clarified.
Loving. Like,
That's what it
love
is.
somebody or
Loving.
Loving can also mean like
See?
sex.
Nope. Love.
In a
Sex is
relationship.
sex.
You're just talking about emotion.
Giving
Sex is sex.
Emotion.
Giving
emotional
giving
love.
love.
Emotion of love.
Giving love.
Okay.
Sex is not love.
No.
Sex is not a 4-letter word.
But you said loving.
yeah.
So you need to
love.
say like love as an emotion in general.
Not sex, motherfucker.
I heard you.
Love.
Okay.
I'm the illest nigga at loving. It don't get no better than me.
And explain, please,
You know
because
what I'm
I
saying?
don't believe you.
That's fine. You'll learn. You'll see. Over time, we're friends now.
Okay.
You can see. I'm the illest
So
nigga at
please
loving.
explain.
Oh.
So I was explaining. I'm the illest nigga at loving. Nobody loves better than I love. That's why my company is called Kill Love. Because if don't just do it, kill it. You know what I'm saying? Go hard. Do it all. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold no punches. Be vulnerable. Be everything that you need to be when you're giving your love. Point blank, period.
Yes, sir.
It's unconditional all the way around. Nobody does it better than me. You'll
As
see.
you were saying.
So my question for the double standard of love is, why is it expected or so uncommon for a man to love deeply? And why would it why do we call men that love deeply like suckers for love? You know what I'm saying? Like we call them names. You know what I'm saying? Emotional. You know what I mean? Why can't somebody just love? Why can't a nigga just love? What's wrong with a nigga just loving? Why do we expect like that type of deep love to only come from females?
Well, it goes back to that most of society viewed men as being non-emotional people. So
Strong.
that, yeah. when you show your emotions, you look weak, so to speak, to certain other men. And other men judged men on that, and therefore men stopped showing their emotions like that because they said, oh, you can't cry, you can't show emotion, you shouldn't be like that.
That's some bullshit.
It is. I didn't make society the way it is.
How do you feel about men who love, like, and show their love? Emotional men.
I appreciate a man who can show his emotions. I don't want you to be overly emotional at the same time. So
Why
I
not?
do
What's that
still
mean?
have
Because it's
other.
uncomfortable.
What's that mean? What's
Yeah.
overly emotional?
Like, don't call me every day crying about your problems.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Why
the
not?
same thing you wouldn't be okay with a chick doing, though.
Exactly.
Too. Like, if a chick called you every day crying, always crying about everything that's going on, always with a negative, like, oh,
That's
I
different.
need you to cheer me up because the world is against me and I hate everything.
Well, I mean, you know, if you bring a negative perspective towards me, like, often, yeah, but just being emotional doesn't mean you're being negative.
Well, yeah,
You
that's
know, just because you're reaching out to someone and you're expressing your feelings to them, you're expressing your emotions to them, doesn't make you a negative person. Now, if you're being negative, I don't need that. Don't call me complaining about life, everybody's against you and all of that stuff. But if you call me just being emotional about, like, I went through some shit today, you know what I'm saying, and this is the way I feel.
Yeah, but
Alright, cool.
that's different. That's not what she's saying. What she's saying
She
is
said
when you're
overly emotional.
doing what she's saying
doing
is
it
when
every
you're
day.
doing it all the time. It's
That's
not
right.
when every conversation is always about, like, I need to hear you cheer me up.
Right. What if somebody's going through some shit every day?
Yeah,
well,
but
then they need to find
That's
somebody
too
else
much.
to support them.
there's
Yeah.
a limit.
Why?
You can't be a weak individual.
Why
I
not?
mean, you can.
I mean, you can, but
for the right
I
person.
don't
Attractive.
want a weak individual, especially for someone like me. Like, I know y'all don't know me, but I'm a very strong person, and a weak individual, I can't deal with it. It's gonna bother me. I'm just gonna be like, yo, man up. I'm gonna be like, put your big girl panties on if I'm talking to
Hell
a
yeah.
woman, and deal with it. Face it, work it out, deal with it. You know, if I have a man coming to me every day, like, oh, work was so hard today, like somebody did something and it just made me feel all upset, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, shake it off, like, don't let it affect you so much. But if they keep doing that every day, it's another thing. I'm gonna be like, yo, like, you can't handle life.
But
Hey,
that's
the
just
real
how
thing.
you are, period.
Yeah,
Because
well, yeah.
when a woman does that, you feel exactly
I'm
the
the
same
same
way.
way. I'm like,
So
yeah,
it really
this-
has nothing to do whether it's being a man or a woman. The shit's annoying.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would assume he's in your face more if you're in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, my friends come to me with stuff, but she's right. I am very, like, come
Bada
on,
bing, bada boom,
you can
like-
handle this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But I think, and it is double standard, I guess, that I
It is.
expect a man to be able
A
to
man?
handle more.
Oh.
I do. I expect him to be more composed,
Ooh.
I guess.
Good word.
Ooh.
Like, I'm not trying to say, like, strong, because that can have so many different definitions,
Right.
but more composed, like, think responsibly and compose yourself. But would I love for a man to come and, like, tell me about something that happened that, caused him to have an emotional reaction? Absolutely, because then you're opening up to me.
Right. There's
Right.
that level of
Right.
trust. You just
You're
got to put a cap
trusting
on
me.
it.
Yeah, you just have to. Yeah, exactly. Because then I'm like, okay, so this is real. Like, you trust me enough to talk to me. You trust me enough to be vulnerable to me. Like, this is actually, like, you're showing me that emotional side that she's right. Men don't show. And it's
But they do,
society breeds them not to show that.
But
though.
they do show that. And the ones that do show it, y'all call them names.
Well, they show them in ways that are socially
That's
unacceptable.
that's the
No,
double
we
standard.
want it.
That's my question.
I think
the men,
It's all
when-
about socially acceptable or not.
when you find the man that does express their emotions, y'all call them names.
I
You
think
call them weak. You call them suckers. Shit like that. That's what happens.
I think the most common emotion that men show in public is anger.
Yeah.
And that's acceptable.
Exactly.
It's
More
not
acceptable.
Acceptable.
It's
No, I
acceptable.
mean, it's not. I
More
mean,
socially
it's more
acceptable.
socially acceptable than a man who has trouble controlling his anger emotion.
Yeah, the
Than his sad emotion.
But is
Yeah.
it though?
Yeah,
Because
it is.
that's the
Because
scope.
if you...
That's the-
Go tell
Maybe
that
not
to the
you.
judge. I think he would have a whole
But he's-
a totally
that's to
different
an extreme,
conversation.
though.
Right.
No,
but,
it's
like,
really not though.
Yes, it is.
That's to an
What do you
extreme.
mean?
Talking about
I fought
getting
cases just for screaming. That's just for screaming, for
Well,
expressing
I'm not
my
gonna
anger.
try to throw
That's
something
not-
in
it's
there,
not-
but that's also because you're black.
Whatever.
So
It's
let's
black-
be
a black-
honest.
a black-
Not really,
a
because
black-
I've been hit with
a
breach of
black
peace
man,
before, and I'm
you know what I'm
white.
saying? A black man expressing his
white.
anger. It's not. A black man expressing his anger is absolutely not acceptable.
No,
Okay, that's
We
a-
get arrested for
but
it.
that's
We
a
get
sep-
killed for it.
That's a separate double standard, but
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah, that's
But
a
it's
So-
a
separate
double
double
standard.
standard.
So what we
So there was a
talking
double.
about?
So what we started off with the double standard between men and women, and then we went to double standard for men, expressing their emotions, expressing anger versus sadness.
Well,
And then now you're saying that the other double standard
racial
is now the rate. You added the racial component.
No, she
now
said
there's
yeah.
three different groups.
She added the racial
Okay,
thing.
so I'm saying,
I'm
though-
responding to y'all. I started off by saying, why is it so uncommon for men, or why is that the double
I
standard
don't think
that
it's
men,
bad for men to love.
for men to be emotional in love, in the subject of love. We still on love. We ain't even get to the gender part yet. I didn't even get to
So
that.
men can love, absolutely. Men do love.
Absolutely.
It's just they show it
And
differently.
The question was why. So as a society, when the men do show it, why do we get called names? Why is it frowned upon when a man is emotional?
So can I take
in
it?
love?
It's your actions. That's the difference. How you express it and how you show it. If you show it in a way that's appropriate to a woman, she's gonna respond in a
What's
good
appropriate?
way.
I mean, I'm not talking about anything that would be inappropriate. I'm not
Let's
talking about
see.
beating on
Okay.
somebody. I'm talking about
Perfect
a man
example.
expressing his emotions.
Two
in
people
love
are
to a
hooking
woman.
up.
Mhm.
One's made it perfectly clear. That's all we're doing. Don't catch feelings.
I'm not on
Right.
sex. We're not going to sex. I'm talking about love.
But they catch feelings,
Well, we'll get
which
to that later.
leads to love.
we talking.
And then they're
okay.
mad that it's not reciprocated.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about from an individual perspective. I'm talking about the general thing. In general, why is y'all both said it. Y'all both said that when a man that as being emotional is looked at as what? Weak. You said you expect a man to be more composed, right? Why? Why can't a man just be emotional? Why can't he do that?
Because the way that as Sage said, the way that our society has been structured and how it's coming along, where the man is supposed to be the head of the house. He's supposed to be the rock that holds everything together. Now, before we start dating, before we start getting into marriage and stuff, you got to show that you can be the head of the house. You can be that strong person. You can't take stuff on the chin and keep it moving. Even if it's hurting, tearing you up inside, you still got to project that strength. I'm
But
gonna use
why?
the word. But why?
Why?
That's like when you ask me why you gotta take your baseball cap off in the house. It's because it's one of the things that
been
was
taught.
taught
It's something
as
that's
that's
been
supposed
bred
to be.
into
Because
us.
Yeah, he was
you can still accomplish those things. You can still be a head of a household and make money and
Absolutely.
do all of that
Yeah,
shit
I
and still
agree.
be an emotional man.
I
But
agree.
not
with you.
every
still-
woman
it's-
is calling a guy weak, and we're not saying that every guy is weak because they express their emotions. Like we said,
Well, I
there's
know-
a line.
I know
like,
it's not
I like a guy
100%
that
of
is going
people,
to show
but we
his
talking about the
emotions.
general-
Well, what do you mean by
We're
emotional?
talking about the general population.
What do you mean by emotional?
Like
then?
where we come from. And I've done it myself too, and that's partially how the conversation starts, because you witness it in your own space, and it's like, damn, that was kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, you see a man who puts his woman first, right? In groups of men, I don't know how many of y'all hang out with men. You know what I'm saying? But in groups of men, like if this was all men right here,
Yeah.
They
and-
say he was pussy whipped.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's whipped, that nigga sprung, you know what I'm saying?
I think you should put your
all of
woman
that-
first.
All of that extra stuff, right?
Right.
But
That
that's
would happen,
you guys
right?
doing that to yourselves.
Right.
Exactly.
You can't help that that's the way you were trained in society. That's the way you look upon it.
But it's funny though.
Right.
Some of those same folks who might call you pussy whoop or say you sprung
Are the same exact way.
will do the
We're
same
seeing
exact
that
thing,
have the same
but in
relationship.
private,
In private, right.
In
Yeah.
private or out of the way.
right.
But
So
we're
that-
not supposed to express that out in public.
But that's why they say it in front of their boys, to seem macho, to be like, oh, I'm not like that, knowing that if his girl calls, he running home right now too. So
Who's that texting?
Yeah,
My
like-
girl.
I gotta go now, guys.
I gotta get the milk.
Yep. It's about my curfew.
Yeah.
So
Not
like,
that time.
like for me, you know what I'm saying? That shit. I mean, all of every double standard bothers me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think I'm a fair. You know what I'm saying? I want everything to be fair and equal. But that's been the most common conversation for me when it comes to double standards, because I'm a nigga who loves. You know what I'm saying? And I've ended up in fucked up situations because I put my lady before my needs, or I put my lady before my dreams. You know what I'm saying? I may be doing something myself, looking like it's going in the right direction, and then I meet somebody, and then it's like, all right, put my dream to the side for a little while. I'll build on the relationship, and then I'll get back to it. And then the relationship don't work. Now I got to get back to my shit, but now I'm fucking 100 yards ahead of my shit. Now I got to catch up, bring my, you know what I'm saying? I gotta start
You
all
should
over
never
again.
do that.
Yeah.
And that's not a
That's
double
not
standard.
healthy.
Right?
That's,
No. Right? No.
that goes to last week's episode
Right,
of
no.
codependency.
Yeah.
Say that.
That's not healthy.
Right. Right. That absolutely. But I'll be called names. Right. Y'all are both right. But I'll be called names because of that. You know what I'm saying? And it, like, no, the codependency thing, that's not a name calling. It's like, yo, you a sucker for love. Like, okay, what's really wrong with being a sucker for love? If the relationship would have worked, we would have been good, right?
Yeah, you're not a sucker. Now you're a winner.
You know what I'm saying? If the relationship would have worked, we would have been good. But because the relationship didn't work, now it looks fucked up. Now it looks like I made a bad decision. Now it looks like I was codependent, which I wasn't. I just wanted to choose my relationship before everything else. That's it.
But that does kind of make you a sucker because you put your
Yeah,
drive,
I'm
your
not saying that you
ambition,
just
your
love so
goals on hold to try
Yeah.
to see if something first off,
Yeah.
if you need to put shit on hold, shit that you want to work for yourself when trying to meet somebody new, that's not the person for you.
Yeah.
We already know. Yeah, we know that.
But so you
so it-
are
But-
a
but
sucker
it
for
happens.
love.
Okay. But what's wrong with that though?
What's wrong with that is you're putting yourself
Yeah,
behind. Like
you're not
you
loving
shouldn't.
yourself first.
But okay, just because
Yeah.
you don't, just because
You
just
can't love somebody else
just-
if you're putting them in front of yourself.
right. But just because you don't love yourself first doesn't mean that there's something wrong with that.
You should
Oh
always
no, you
love
should
yourself.
always love yourself
No,
first.
there's nothing wrong with loving yourself first. But if you don't love yourself first, that still doesn't make it a wrong thing. It doesn't make
If
it
you
a bad thing
don't
because
love
you don't
yourself, you
love
can't
yourself
properly
first.
love anybody else.
Yeah, if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else?
You're talking about y'all are all referring to a relationship. Y'all are talking about
No,
y'all talking
in
about a man and
general.
woman.
You
In
just
general.
said that.
You got-
If I
y'all-
don't love
y'all got-
myself,
y'all
I
got-
can't love my best friend properly.
Right, y'all, right. But so we're talking about a relationship, right? So translate that to a parent-child relationship.
Okay.
Who do you love more? Who do you love first? Yourself or your children?
I will always love myself, but my child priorities and well-being always comes
Right.
first.
Is everybody in the world going to say that? Is every person?
No,
is every
there are
parent gonna
very
say,
selfish
"I choose myself
mothers,
first"?
selfish
Good
fathers.
parent.
Okay.
They're, but
Right.
it's not being a good parent if you don't put your child's needs and wants before your
Yes.
own.
Exactly.
I mean,
But you better
And-
love
but you have to
yourself.
love yourself because you're not
Yeah.
a good parent. If you're not loving
Exactly.
yourself, you can't be anything for your child.
that's
if
not
you're
true.
Not loving
Just
yourself.
because you don't love yourself doesn't mean you can't love somebody else.